Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name's Ray, the Market Trader, and before we begin, we'll need to get through our obligatory risk disclosure. So we'll just go ahead and do that. So I just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader is to be used as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any future security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer, buy, sell futures, options, or Forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through our risk disclosure, we'll move toward our news portal and see what news we have in the way. Welcome, Faye. Welcome, Simon. Weekend was good. Weekend was good, Simon. I hope your weekend was good as well. All right, so let's go ahead now and turn our attention over to our news portal here. Okay, morning, Dirk. We're just going to take a look here at our news portal, and really light in the way of news today. Okay, we have one minor event here. We have a White House senior advisor has it speaking. So really nothing in the way necessarily of impacting potentially the markets. As we look ahead in the week, we have the U.S. trade balance report coming in tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern. That has the potential of maybe impacting the market some. We have some IMF note, 3-year note reporting. We have the fiscal monitor report coming in at 1 p.m. tomorrow. So again, has the potential of impacting the markets. And as we progress through the week, I guess the granddaddy of all news events that could impact the markets is the at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, we have the FOMC meeting minutes. We also have, for those crude oil traders, we have the EIA. And then we just get more and more opportunities. We have Fed Community Banking Conference. We have the note yield, 30-year note yield. And then we close out the week with some inflationary Michigan numbers. Okay, so nothing, I guess, today. And as we, I guess, progress throughout the week, we get to maybe more in the way of some news that could potentially impact the markets. All right, so now that we have a sense of what's coming, and what could maybe even slow down the markets until it's reported, I would say FOMC probably these next couple of days could cause the markets to remain in some sort of range until the FOMC meeting minutes come out. But nonetheless, we'll still take a look here and see what kind of context we can get out of the markets. So we'll go ahead and turn our attention to our charting platform here and do just that here. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here is open up my charting platform. So we'll get that up and running. All right, so here we're going to start with the gold market. Okay, just kind of experimenting with something here with respect to ticks here. So we'll see if we can do away with that here for a moment. Okay. All right. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and open up the gold. All right. We're going to start off with the gold market as we normally do. All right. Looking at the gold market, looking at again, experimenting with yet another indicator. Okay. Lux Algo's version of this initial balance opportunities. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this, and then we'll take a look at the daily chart. Okay, so again, daily is giving us another developing bullish candle, in a market that otherwise has been bullish. Okay, so nothing, at least at the moment, indicating any sort of weakness in this market. We continue to make higher highs and higher lows. Market continues to show strength, as evident by the series of candles that we're receiving here. So daily chart remains bullish. Okay, taking a look at the 4-hour chart again, we can see that we are continue to remain above our 9 EMA. You can see that price is above our visible range volume profile, maybe a little bit extended above our 9 EMA here. Okay, so not particularly 4 hours, probably not the best time frame to use, but in any case, we see that price is above our 9 EMA. Certainly, we have price above our value, of our visible range volume profile here on the right. So this area right here would be an area. We're going to go ahead and maybe mark that up in just to kind of indicate that maybe this is going to be a supportive area going forward. We're going to mark that in green. So this area is not only value area high, but also a area where price is broken above some structure here. Okay, so you see price is broken above some structure. So the anticipation here, much like we have here, right? So the idea is that this area, right, you see here that even though it was quite a move, right, to the downside, where did price stop? Well, price stalled at an area of prior support. Okay, so again, expectation is when we break these kinds of areas of resistance, that on the way down, this case around 39, say 39.25 ish, 39.23. Just kind of take a look here. Yeah, 39.20. Okay, it appears that that area would be an area of some level of support in this market. Okay, right now we have a developing bearish engulfing candle, which is always a cause for some concern, right? Because that is an indication that the sellers have some control over the market. But it is a bearish engulfing candle in a market that's otherwise bullish, right? It's bullish on the daily, and even with this bearish candle, we still remain in some bullish structure here to the upside. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-minute chart here and see what the 30-minute chart has to offer. And we'll do a little bit of volume analysis here just to kind of see where price is in relation. So you can see that price did manage, okay, to close below the 9 EMA, right? So that's something to make note of. But it's actually stalled, all right, any sort of further move right at VWAP, okay? VWAP that is actually sloping to the upside. So let's go ahead and take a look at our fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and take a look and compare price as in relation to Friday's price action. And let's see if we can go ahead and open this up here. We'll start off at here, kind of work our way across to here. All right. So you can see that we're well above. Let's see. Make sure I start. Yeah, we're well above value. Okay, from yesterday. So indicating that there is in this market. So we're going to go ahead and extend this line here. Okay, this area down below here at 1450 would be another location for maybe some expectation of support here, just above the point of control, just above an area of consolidation here. Okay, the expectation that this area would be an area that would be supportive. Now, assuming that we do hold price above this VWAP, okay, then this area right here, just below VWAP, could offer us a location, right, where we could maybe take on an opportunity here to the upside. So let's open up our initial balance here. Let's take a look and compare where our initial balance ranges across the various markets. So we'll start off with the Tokyo markets to start off on Sunday. And you see here that we got a very nice extension, right? 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, actually 2 bars here to establish the range, right? And then we got a very nice extension to the upside all the way up to and beyond the 200% extension. Okay. So very nice extension to the bull side. So Asia, a fair number of people who are bullish on the gold market, which is no surprise. And then let's take a look at London. London also appears to be, well, actually, I was going to say bullish as well, but looks like it appears to be in some sort of range, right? So Asia is bullish. London really hasn't picked a direction on where they want to take this market. Okay. So right now, it's hovering around an area of demand. It is responding off of an area here, VWAP, right, which could offer us maybe a location to participate in this market to the upside. All right. Let's. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. This is start of Asia was right about here. So yeah, I'm going to add an anchored VWAP here. It's probably going to give me the same information, but I'm going to try anyway. Right. So this is kind of the indication for Asia, right? The light blue. Okay. That's the kind of represents the Asia range, right? So we did take a peek below, right? We closed below this area, and now we've kind of found some buyers around this area, right around 39.54. Okay. And now we are in the process of maybe potentially developing a bullish candle here. So we're going to go ahead and move this to the regular day session and take a look at what kind of initial balance range are we establishing. So relatively tight range so far in this market. Okay. Indications right now appear to me that maybe we are going to continue higher, but like anything, right? I demand that the market give me some indication that show me that does have the strength to kind of make this kind of move happen, right? We like to see price kind of break above this channel, all right, whether on the 30-minute or the 15-minute, preferably 15-minute or 30-minute, either one. And then we can use maybe the top end of this initial balance range for an opportunity for further opportunity to the upside. Okay. So as I enter the day, I would say that the market, as I enter the day for gold, that my view remains to the bullish side, okay, and that I'm going to be looking for some additional evidence that is indeed the case. Certainly, a break above the initial balance range and holding above the initial balance high would be one indicator of that. Obviously, holding above VWAP would be another secondary indicator of that price. The sentiment remains to the bullish side. Okay, so headed into the market. I would say that the markets does appear to be remain bullish. I do see that maybe of late that maybe into London here that we've been in some sort of range kind of price action. So it'll be interesting to see where the U.S. market is able to take this, whether they decide that they want to follow the path of Asia and continue higher, or are they going to follow the path of London and see if they can drive price lower here. And the next logical location would be this 39.30 level. This is the last area of consolidation. And then we have the point of control here around 39.12, 39.10. We have a couple of other areas that we saw in the higher time frame that could offer us maybe some locations for reversal in price should it come down this direction. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for the gold market. We're going to go ahead and turn our attention now to the crude oil. But before I do, I'm going to make my appeal here a little bit earlier than normal. So we have about 12 participants in the session at the moment, and really have only seen 3 likes. Just want to encourage folks, if they do find that they do get some support or help in their review of the markets, to consider maybe hitting the like button, and more importantly, if they can leave a comment or two on the portal indicating how this analysis is supporting their ability to analyze the markets. You like before it even started. Well, that's excellent. But certainly, I obviously, if it's not supporting you, Simon, in any way, then I understand that you can set aside and not hit the like button. But the fact that you hit it, like you have some history and expectation that this analysis is supporting you. So in any case, let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Now that I've gotten some reaction, I've gotten a couple of people to step away, which is fine. I knew it would be. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the daily here on the crude oil market. Now, in my weekly review, which is available on the portal, again, also available publicly. I did mention that I thought that on the weekly and the monthly chart that we were still very much inside some bearish structure here in the crude oil market. Daily is showing maybe a little bit of signs here, but as long as we remain below our 9 EMA, the path that I have here of the arrows, I still indicates, provides me some indication or that the path is going to continue potentially lower here. All right, we have the 6150 level and just above that, the 62 level. But you can see here that the market does appear to be in some sort of bearish structure here to the downside. Excuse me, just appear to be on the downside. So again, dailies is indicating to me that we are still very much in some bearish structure. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. Again, you can see that we remain in some sort of bearish structure in this market. We did make an attempt here, maybe during the overnight, actually during Friday into the beginning of Sunday here. Some attempt here has been made to see if we can kind of reverse the tide here of the current market. Right, the market has been in a steady decline. Okay, over the past I don't know, two weeks. Okay. And now we've gotten to a point where the buyers have managed to kind of stall some of the momentum here on the 4-hour chart. You can see that we did react a little bit. We've come back to an area where we would expect price maybe to continue. Okay, so we got a little bit of strength. Maybe this is kind of offering us maybe a location, right, for maybe a potential continuation move. All right, this is now a little bit of a retracement back to an area of consolidation where we had a little bit of an extension here to the downside in this market. So market right now, I would say, would be certainly on the 4-hour chart that we're kind of bearish to maybe neutral in this market, right? Bearish direction, neutral, because we're kind of doing a little bit of overlapping in price. So it'll be interesting to see if we do hold below 62. Okay, if we hold below 62, then I would say that there's more of an opportunity here for us to maybe extend here to the downside. So 4-hour chart indicating to me that we're still in some bearish kind of structure here. All right. So let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart, we did get a gap. Looks like a little bit of a gap open. Okay. So indicating that we had some pent-up demand here in this market, that people were willing to pay a premium to be part of this market, right? So this gap is obviously bullish, right? It opened above, right, the closing price from Friday and left this area here. Now the expectation is that we will fill this gap, okay, and we will see how much interest folks have around this 60-80 level. Okay, right now, what I'm seeing on the 30-minute chart is that we did gap right up. We got to this point here around 62, and we found again some additional sellers. Sellers have since taken somewhat control. Right, you can see that price has managed. The 9 has managed to cross below the VWAP. Right, we have price closing below the 9 EMA, closing below the VWAP, and extended back down to a point of control from Friday, right? So Friday's range and maybe earlier than Friday's range. Okay, so interesting developments. Now the question is, are we going to hold this level? Right now it's still indicating that we are still very much in some bearish structure. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the fixed range volume profile and get a sense for where price is in relation to Friday's value range. I say yesterday, Friday's value range. So we're going to go ahead and locate Friday's range and get a sense for where price is in relation to that range. So let's go ahead and do that. And there it is. Okay, so you can see here that price is technically, okay, above the value range. Okay, we did get a little bit of a bounce, right? We came back down to the value range from Friday and reversed, right? So now the question is, do we have the participants to drive price higher? Right? That's the question. Right now, we seem to be probably a little bit in the middle of the this candle here, kind of giving us an indication that maybe it does not have the strength that it needs to drive price higher. Okay, but in order to really kind of continue this current bearish structure here, we need to see price continue. Maybe even to break some continued, basically make a lower low is kind of what we need, all right, in order to maintain this bearish structure here. Seems like it's struggling here a little bit to head lower, although as the moment I say that, it started to kind of pick up momentum here, all right? So the market, I would say, continues to be on the bearish side. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the initial balance range across the various markets and kind of decide here exactly what these markets were able to do with the crude oil market. We'll start off with the Asia market. Asia was at least pretty much range bound, right? It wasn't until we got to London, okay, until we got to London that we actually saw some initiative price action to the downside. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so you can see here that we did manage to close, right? We did manage to close below the initial balance range. We did retest that same range, and now it looks like we are finally maybe potentially picking up some momentum for maybe further price action to the downside. So assuming we can get let's say below this, we can close below this this area here, then I would say that certainly it opens the door for price to maybe revisit, say 60, 70. Okay. That doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility here based on this current price action. Okay. If I'm going to turn bullish on this market, well, I need to begin to see some bullish price action, right? This candle alone is not enough, right? I need to see price get above my 9 EMA, get above my VWAP before I'm able to turn my attention to maybe not so much maybe a bullish swing and maybe some sort of range, or maybe bullish nonetheless, right? We need to see price structure. I'm going to use the 9 EMA as kind of my guide, maybe for some potential maybe opportunity, maybe to the upside before I would change my view here. Otherwise, headed into the session, okay, right now I'm seeing some bearish price action. London is extending lower. We really don't have much in the way of right now. We just opened the market here. The initial balance range is relatively tight, okay, giving us some indication that it's not going to take much effort to extend this initial balance range. But we're only about not even 5 minutes into the session here, okay. So again, headed into the session, I remain I would say bearish on this market. I'm going to be looking to see if I do get an extension here. I do see that this is an area maybe of some prior support. I do see that we opened up with a gap. So I'm a little leery that maybe this gap could offer maybe an area where price could reverse, all right, could reverse away from this area and head potentially higher. But nonetheless, right now, I would say that we remain in some sort of bearish structure, okay? All right, let's see. Taking a peek here, we're going to go ahead and open up the equity markets. We're going to start off with the NASDAQ. So that's everybody's favorite market, and take a look and see what the NASDAQ has to offer here. Okay, so again, as you can see here, price continues to grind higher in this market. We are again developing a bullish engulfing candle. All right, I say developing, right, because we won't know until the end of the day today on how this current candle is going to close. We are looks like we are potentially breaking above this 25,000 level, which has been an area of some contention here in the past. We closed below it on Friday, and now we're back above it on Monday. All right. So the daily chart giving us an indication that maybe there is still further upside momentum in this market. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. You can see that you can see the staircasey nature of the market, NASDAQ, right? We had a little bit of a pullback, a rally, another pullback, rally that broke some structure here, okay? And it came back down to that same level that we have been talking about in some earlier instruments, right? We had price come back down to an area of prior resistance that becomes supportive right around this 25,000 level, right? We broke above this 25,000 level. We came back on Friday, right? Held that level, actually kind of peaked below it a little bit, reached this indecisive bar here midday, and then it rallied. It has since rallied from that point forward, right, into Sunday. All right. So the question now becomes, well, are we going to continue in that way? Well, right now we're challenging this 25,180 level, right? We're getting a little bit in the way of some wicks here. That maybe we do see, maybe we have some potential sellers up at this range. Let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile. Let's get a sense for the let's see. We're going to go ahead and let's move down to the 4-hour chart, 30-minute chart here, and take a look. Okay, so you can see, right? You can see that price remains above our 9 EMA. Right, so 9 EMA giving us an indication that there's still a fair amount of momentum to the upside. As long as price remains above the 9 EMA, I would have to say that we are in some price structure that indicates to us that maybe there's some further upside to this market. We're going to go ahead and now take a look at the fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and open up the start here at the start of Friday into the close of Friday here, okay, and you can see that we're above, right? We're above the value range from Friday, right? Indicating that this area around, let's say 25,160 is a supportive area, right? So we broke some structure here to the upside. So expectation. Yeah, Simon, I haven't really used them. I think they're a little bit more of value, I would say, on lower time frame charts, right? But I haven't. I mean, again, the kind of my style of trading is more intraday. So looking at 15 and 2-minute candles is enough. But if I think they're maybe a little bit more advantageous, say on a tick chart, on a lower time frame chart, if I'm more of a scalper, that might be. But that's something, again, I would say that the ticks, I think, need to be adjusted. Yeah, more. Yeah, I would say that the ticks are more of a sniper kind of tool. Okay. Yeah, they're more. I would say that's a little bit more of a sniper. So it depends on your style of trading. Okay, on how well you could use them. But I haven't really used them with a lot of. I don't have a lot of history using them. Let's put it that way. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, so like I said, we are still above our 9 EMA. We're still above our VWAP. We're still above our value. So nothing right now indicating to me that we are in any sort of bearish kind of structure. If anything, we are in some sort of bullish structure. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the initial balance range, at least for Asia and London, and see what Asia and London were able to do with this market. So let's take a look at Asia to start and see what Asia was able to accomplish. Okay. So Asia really wasn't able to accomplish much in the way of any sort of direction. Okay. Until pretty much the start of London. Okay. At the start of London, I would say this is probably more generated by London than it is necessarily by Asia. So once London opened, whatever neutral feeling that that Asia had. The London market, London is obviously feeling differently about that. Okay, they're far more bullish on this market than Asia was. Okay, so let's take a look and see what the London market is saying, and see if it did manage to close above the initial balance range. And sure enough, it did. Okay, so we got a nice extension, right? The moment we get an extension to the upside, we move into a trend, right? That's the whole point of this initial balance range, is that it sometimes signals when markets could move into a trend, right? Now, is it always going to move to a trend? No. There are occasions where we get a failed auction, right? Where we attempt to auction higher only to find sellers and reverse direction. But in this case, it signaled a very nice trending move to the upside that caused that reached the 200% extension of the initial range, right? Which made for a very nice risk reward opportunity. Okay. All right. So again, as we head into the market, right now we're still a little bit of ways from the open of the session here. I would say that the market remains bullish. Okay. I'm going to see. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and mark this over here. That was this prior area of support. This also maybe initial balance high from Friday. Okay. So this initial balance high from Friday, again, also London, we're right at that level. Okay. So assuming that we could stay above the 9 EMA, right? Assuming that we could stay above the 9 EMA, I would say that we have to, and not only 9 EMA, I would even say the VWAP, that with the move appears to continue to be bullish, right? I feel like I'm in some bullish kind of price structure. Okay. If price begins to close below the 9 EMA, then maybe we can start turning our attention maybe for maybe a retracement of some sort in this market. But looking at the daily, looking at the 4-hour, it seems like we're breaking structure, not to the downside, but to the upside. Okay. So as much as people would like to fade this move, until we start to see some price structure indicating that the market wants to reverse at these levels, we're probably better served in looking for opportunities in the direction of that move. Okay, which in this case is bullish. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the ES here. And ES, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily chart here. And again, daily chart indicating that there's still a fair amount of strength here in this market to the upside. Okay, so if I'm drawing maybe some sort of wedge pattern here, I could see that we've broken the wedge pattern to the upside. Okay, so let's draw what I'm saying here. Okay, so this is my ascending triangle that I had mentioned here. Okay, so there it is. We've broken through the top of it, right? We've broken through the top of it, and now have held above this, say, 67.55, 67.54 level. Okay, so we are breaking structure to the upside. So on the daily chart, I would have to say that we continue to show bullish sentiment. Okay, moving down to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, similar kind of view here. We'll turn off initial balance here for a moment. You can see that we've not tested that area, that ascending wedge, not just once, right? Not just once, but twice. Okay, and each time it's been met with some buying, right? So this 67.55, 67.54 level seems to be a relatively important area here. Okay, important area of an area of some level of importance. Okay. Yes, Alejandro, absolutely. All right. So let's take a look now at the 30-minute chart. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart here. Okay, so again, we have that ascending wedge pattern. We have that little area that I have identified here on the ascending wedge that has seemed to be somewhat supportive. Looks like the 6,800 level continues to be an area of contention. Okay, I see that maybe I can draw a little bit of a supply area or resistance zone here right around this 6,800 level. So we're going to go ahead and mark that in red. Okay, you can see that the rally for now has kind of stalled around this area, right? So the question becomes, is this going to again offer us maybe a little bit of a move lower? Okay, right now you can see that price is below our 9 EMA. We've reached our VWAP and looks like we found some buyers, but we're starting to see a little bit of overlapping price here, right? Price has easily gone below the 9, above the 9, below the 9, above the 9, below the 9. So I don't know about you guys, but that is kind of a recipe for maybe that we are in some sort of range currently in this market. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the fixed range. And let's see if we can fixed range volume profile. Let's see what the various markets were able to do. So got a little bit of an extension here on the Asia market, unlike the NASDAQ, right? We did get an extension from Asia, right? After establishing a range that got us to the 200% of the original range, okay? Moving into the London session, all right? London also, let's see, what did it offer here? Offered something in the way of some extension to the upside, probably not to the same strength that we saw in the NASDAQ. Looks like we created a little bit of a double top pattern, right? Every time we've kind of tried to get above 67.92, okay, that has been met with some sellers. And that looks like has caused us to remain in some sort of range in this market, okay? So as long as price remains above, then we probably need to look higher. But I'm a little bit wary of the fact that price has now kind of moved into some sort of range in this market, right? I'm starting to see price overlap, overlap and not really respect this 9 EMA as well as I would have expect it to respect it, right? Right now, it seems like it wants to move into some sort of consolidation. Okay. So I would say that I'm probably a little bit more neutral, I guess, in the ES market that maybe than what I was seeing in the NASDAQ. We are hovering above the edge of the initial balance range for London. Okay, so as long as we remain above that, then I would say that maybe the side of least resistance is higher. But these two wicks and the fact that we've seen overlapping price is indicating to me that we are maybe in the beginning stages of some sort of consolidation range, which maybe has the potential of maybe offering us maybe a move here to the downside at some point, right? Because every attempt that has been made to head higher has been received with some sellers. And honestly, we still are inside this bearish swing to the downside. So it would not surprise me at all if if we're not able to maybe break and hold above that, maybe we make an attempt here to come back down to point of control here, okay, from this visible range volume profile. So headed into the session, I would say that I'm maybe a bit more neutral in this market than say the NASDAQ. Okay, so let's take a look at the Dow here. All right, and let's take a look at the daily chart and see what the Dow is doing. Okay, so Dow, similar to what we were seeing in the other markets, I even showing maybe a little bit more strength. We have a little bit of a gap, that gap open here. I don't know if that's visible to you guys, but there is a little bit of a gap open on this market here. Okay, not much, but certainly higher, right? There's a little bit of a gap. We're developing a bullish candle above some structure that we've had here, right? So 46,790, right, does appear to be the most recent area of resistance. So I would expect that this 46,790 would be an area where we would get some continued support should price come back down to it. Okay, so this 46,790, 46,800 would my expectation is that area could be a supportive area. Moving into the 4-hour chart, looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that maybe price is stalling here above, at these highs a little bit, although we still remain above our 9 EMA. We're seeing more in the way of wicks on both ends of the candles here. So indicating that maybe there's a little bit of indecision as to where to take this market at the moment. This could easily falter here on any sort of adverse news here. If we don't attract more buyers at this level, well, we could easily see the market kind of falter here, right, and fall low in the pursuit of some buyers. Well, where would I expect that they would find some buyers? Well, this prior area of resistance right around this 46,800 level. That seems to be a logical area where I've seen maybe some consolidation for price to maybe come back to. All right. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. We'll do some analysis here across, say, volume profile and such, and see what the market is telling us here. Okay. So let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile. Let's see where price is in relation to Friday's price action. Okay. So we'll do here and bring this across here to this location here. Okay. So you can see, unlike the other markets, okay, the Dow is very much in a range, okay, giving us further evidence that we are maybe looking for some range opportunities in this market. Very tight range between, say, 47,160 down to 47,075. That's the kind of range that we've been in of late here in the Dow. Taking a look at the initial balance ranges, I suspect that both Asia and London were not really able to do much of anything with the Dow, but we'll go ahead and confirm that, and that's kind of my view here. You can see that Asia really didn't offer much in the way of an extension in either direction in this market, very much range bound. Looking at this from a London perspective, also, I would expect that we are indicating some sort of range kind of price action. So of the three markets, probably the Dow is probably one I want to wait and see if I can get some additional information as to which direction they want to take this. So if I had to choose, equities markets, at least for now, would not be the Dow where I would maybe look for some sort of directional opportunity. Okay, not yet anyway. Okay. Let's go ahead and do one final pass across all the markets here. Okay, so here we are. We see this is the current session here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the initial balance range. We'll move this over to the day range and just kind of take a look and see what the day range is offering us here. Okay, so really not a lot of aggressive price action going on right now in the gold market. We seem to be quite satisfied in staying inside a range. Okay. If anything, it's maybe a bit on the bearish side at the moment, right? Price is below our 9 EMA. It's kind of working against the anchored VWAP that we drew for Asia. Okay. So Asia, was it Asia or tail end of Asia? I can't recall here. Yeah, Asia was very much bullish. Take a quick look here on the London session. I don't think the London session was quite as bullish, but we'll confirm that here. Don't need this. Okay, so yeah, London session again, still very much in some sort of range. So while we still, I think potentially have some buyers here from the Asia market, London hasn't really been able to take this market in any kind of direction. So it'll be interesting to see what the U.S. session is going to be able to do with this market. I would say that this is kind of giving me kind of a same kind of look and feel that we're seeing in the Dow at the moment. So while price remains in this range, we're probably better served in sitting on our hands until we get maybe some sort of definitive move in either direction. Okay. So right now, again, bullish to neutral is kind of what I'm forecasting at the moment in the gold market. The crude oil, again, I would say that we are very much inside some bearish structure here. We got a nice reversal away from initial balance low, which kind of, at least for now, has kind of maybe offering us maybe another opportunity for the market to head lower. Okay. So So I would say that let's take a look here at the initial balance range for the regular session here. It's already should already be developing here. So there's our initial balance range, saying a little bit of overlap in price, but this seems far more directional to me than what we were witnessing in the gold market. And I would say that direction right now continues to be to the downside. Okay. I think we have the potential of maybe filling in this gap. And then maybe once we fill in this gap, maybe there's an opportunity here where we could see price reverse, because it's not very common, unless we're going through some sort of rollover, not very common to see price kind of have this large of a gap, right? We closed here at around 60.70 and opened up the day at 61.14. That's not very common, right? So obviously there was some pent up demand in this market that caused price to head higher. So are they still around? Are those same people that drove price to that level around? Then what I would expect that they would come back into this market bullish around this level, around 60.90, 61. Okay, that's kind of my expectation. So, but until then, I would say that we remain in some sort of bearish structure. Okay, looking at the NASDAQ again continues to show signs of strength. Right, we are above our 9 EMA. I would say maybe a little tad extended here above our VWAP, right? But market continues to hug the 9 EMA, indicating that there's still a fair amount of interest here to take the market to the upside. Okay, so NASDAQ seems to be bullish. ES similar, right? Maybe a tad more range. Okay. This is NASDAQ, far more directional. NASDAQ seems to be in a little bit of a range. Okay, so the question now becomes: Are we going to be able to hold above 6,800? I think that's the area that we need to hold in order to continue, maybe restore this kind of bullish structure that we've been in. Right now, we seem to be in some sort of range. And then ultimately the Dow, and I think the Dow is even more range than the ES. Okay, so NASDAQ is really the only one I can see right now. Just coming back to the NASDAQ again, that is a little bit more directional. Okay, directional here. All right, so I think the NASDAQ seems to be the strongest of the three, and so yeah, maybe the more tradable at the moment. Okay. So that's kind of what I have for you guys today. I do have, if you guys are interested, there is a weekly review where I kind of look at the markets from a much higher time frame. I looked at the markets on a monthly and a weekly time zone time frame. If you're interested in that video is available to the public as well. Okay, on my portal, you can take a look at that if you want to get a gauge of my views of what the market is on maybe a higher time frame. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and close this session, encouraging folks again to hit the likes and hit the subscribes, smash the notification bell, leave me a comment or two if this session has indeed supported your ability to analyze and navigate the markets. Simon, you are the first to enter and the second to last to say bid adieu. So thank you for that. Okay. Yes. Trade like a pro. Right. Is that trade safe? What's it? Yeah. Trade safe. Be like a pro. Be a market trader. Okay. That's kind of the mantra here. Thank you, Dirk. All right. So again, it's Monday. Relatively light on news. Again, we have to be wary of what impact. Yeah, I messed up the order for me. I can't recall what that. Yeah, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, that's what I wanted to say. All right, thank you, Simon. All right, guys. So that's it for me. We'll go ahead and close this session. I close this session and trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. I finally kicked in, guys, without my coffee. That's amazing. All right, guys, have a great day. Be careful out there. Let the market speak to you and tell you which direction it wants to go before participating. and then locate for some logical levels to participate. All right, guys, have an excellent day trading, and we'll be back at you again tomorrow.